Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to have your soul shine? It's time for the Girlfriend Hour. We're so happy to have you here and we can't wait for you to meet our incredible guests. But first, please put your hands together for our wonderful host, the enigmatic Shar Moore.
And final episode of season 2 of the Girlfriend Hour. What an awesome season we've had, and today's fabulous lineup of talent is no exception. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to bring these incredible everyday people doing extraordinary things in the world to you. People who are so graciously giving up their time, sharing their knowledge, perspectives and learnings with us all. I adore the community we have built and continue to build as we grow our Girlfriend Hour movement. All right, let's go. Our first guest today is the wonderful Nikki Creber. Nikki has created a business in support of people diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. She is a coach, mentor and guide, helping men and women find courage and strength to live their best lives. She is the epitome of resilience, strength and light. Let's welcome Nikki to the show to hear more about her incredible journey. Welcome, Nikki Creber. Woo!
Oh, thank you. I feel divine being here.
Fantastic. Oh, Nikki, there's so many things I'd love to ask you, but I guess the first one is, how did it feel when you were diagnosed with Parkinson's disease?
Nobody ever forgets that moment. I was in a mahogany-lined room with a neurologist, highly qualified professor, something or other, and all I remember is the air shimmering and this buzzing in my head and feeling like I was falling because he just came out with it. Oh, yeah, I think you've got Parkinson's. Pretty sure you've got Parkinson's disease. And I was like,
no
what?
Warning.
No bedside manner. It leaves a lot to be desired. So I just went into this state where I don't even know if I was breathing. And then I heard something about medication. Next thing, my chair was being pulled out from underneath me. So, as you do, you get up. He took me to the door, opened the door, and I was out looking at all these faces in front of me going, oh, my God, can they see that I've got Parkinson's? I was literally in shock, and I just stood there, and he has the most amazing receptionist. She's still with him, and she just eyeballed me. Big smile on her face until I kind of was drawn in, and she just talked to me until the shock broke. And I don't know what she said, but in the end it was, here's your medication and give us a ring and da-da-da. And I went to the car park, and an hour later I found myself sitting in my car. I had just gone into shock. And that story is not unusual. That's what most people do. In the hour in the car park, I lost my bucket list. I saw my kids all growing up without me. My career was gone. All this was just going on in my head because literally the bone gets pointed at you. And as Aussies, we know what that means. You've lost your value to your tribe, to your people, you're gone. And the shock stays with you for a long time.
Oh, Nikki, what a thing to go through. And I think, you hear about this happening to other people, but you kind of go, oh, that won't happen to me. And I can only imagine what that would be like. So how do you help other people navigate this very difficult time?
Well, most people have that experience, and the people that don't have that experience, they really haven't engaged with what's happened to them. So they'll be sailing along going, no, I'm fine, I'm okay. So the people that are in that state, it's a state of shock, denial, anger. It follows a process: grief, stress, depression, anxiety,
It's
apathy.
a bit like losing someone. I guess you've lost yourself in that moment when you're being diagnosed. It's like you're mourning who you were.
And what your life was.
And what you could be.
Yeah, and you just start on this spiral, and that spiral can go on for 5 years. And in that spiral, another neurotransmitter called cortisone steps in, because Parkinson's is about not having enough dopamine, neurotransmitter, being released into your brain. So cortisol comes along and says, it's okay, we can manage, I'll do it. But cortisol is about fight or flight. So people get pushed into a state of fight or flight. And I call it 5F syndrome because fear can trigger it. So anytime they think about what they're going to do next week, I won't be able to do that. I've got Parkinson's. It triggers. So it's fear, fleeing, fighting, flying, flight, or freezing. And they get stuck there. So that's my work with my clients initially, is to get them to understand how the body's reaction, the body's taking this reaction inside it.
Oh, my gosh. Now, you took a sabbatical after your diagnosis. Take us through that journey.
Well, I took a sabbatical after 4 years.
Oh.
I had the worst 4 years where they were just trying me out on medication after medication. I was ill. I had terrible brain fog. I could hardly move. I couldn't get up the 14 stairs to my front door. I couldn't cook anymore. I was living with one teenage daughter and one grown daughter. I couldn't prepare food for them. I was just lost. And a friend breezed in.
As they do.
A long-time friend, yes. And I'd done a lot of project management with her over the years, and she just came for a cup of tea, and then we got into the goss, what the kids are doing, all of that, so as girlfriends do.
Yes, we do.
And she said, one of my daughters is stuck in Germany, and she was studying in Germany, and she's got really bad homesickness, and I'd love to go over. I said, well, what's holding you up? She said, well, I've got to get this done at the house, and I've got to get this done and this done and this done. And then she looked at me and she said, you wouldn't like to do it for me, would you? Because I have a history of renovating, and I'm a misdirected architect, and I love project management. And I'm going, it's so long since I did anything in my passions. So long. What would happen if I did something in my passions? Because, I was comatose because I had Parkinson's. I've got to rest. I've got Parkinson's. And over her head, my husband's standing behind her going, and I'm going, I think I could. So it was building a 6-berth shed, renovating an 1.5-acre garden, putting a second bathroom in the house, painting the house for 2 years. She was going for 2 years, and it was just, I went to my neurologist and I said, this is what I want to do, off all medication, and for the next 2 years, I'm just going to work like a labourer and see what my body does, because I had no confidence in my body.
Oh my gosh.
I'd lost it. I couldn't sit here for any extended time. I couldn't walk up a set of steps without tripping. All confidence in my body was gone. And at the end of 2 years, I'd won control of my body back.
Wow.
Which, in terms of Parkinson's, is just huge.
That's amazing. And oh my gosh, there's so many things I would love to chat with you about. But as we wrap up today, Nikki, what's been one of your biggest inspirations or mentors throughout your life? What or who?
I think I grew up in the era where your mother told you girls can do anything. So I thought I could do anything. I was a woodworker for a while, and I was childcare director, and I was this and that. I've just done a myriad of things because the world's there and I can.
Yes.
And I think I've had ancestral feminine lineage guidance, a lot of very strong women on my mother's side. And in every area of my life, when I was in education, I had a number of very strong mentors. But I must say, here in the Girlfriend Hour, when I look back, my girlfriends have been the biggest mentors in my life. When my first marriage broke up, my husband had brain damage from an accident. We'd been through a terrible time. And in fact, my girlfriend that's here now took me to lunch and she said, I can see glimmers of Nikki. You're going to come back. You're going to come back. I've missed you so much.
Aww.
And that taught me so much about how much women accommodate, to help their family get through situations.
Give it up for Nikki Creber. You're amazing. What a woman, what a story. Oh, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
Next up is a comedian, actor, creator, and Brisbane's real wog wife. Please welcome the hilarious
this is really nice.
Bianca
Wow,
Zouppas.
look at this. Oh, hello, everybody. This is lovely.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, my God, is that Shar?
Hi.
How are you, darling? It's me,
Good.
Katrina, the real wog wife of Brisbane. I can't believe it because that's where I live.
Hi,
my God.
Katrina.
You look amazing, babe.
Thank
you. Look
you.
amazing. And you look amazing too.
Hello, are you in the right room? We're filming a TV show called The Girlfriend Hour, waiting for Bianca.
Oh, I don't know who that is. My name's
Okay.
Katrina.
Okay.
But I could talk about girlfriend things if you want.
Okay, sure.
I've got a good insight into things about girlfriends, you know?
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because I am a great girlfriend myself.
Okay.
And I give really good advice, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm from Brisbane, you know? So that's probably why I'm a good girlfriend.
Okay.
Can I stay or should I go?
Oh, sure. You're here now. We happy for her to stay? Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, I'll ask you the question, seeing I'm not sure where Bianca is, but we'll check on that in a minute.
Yes.
Yes, that's okay. So whereabouts do you live?
I live in Brisbane,
Yes.
but I live in Bulimba.
Okay.
Does anyone know where Bulimba is?
Bulimba, yes, we do.
Yes, it's a really elite suburb.
Okay.
I would say it's probably the most amazing suburb in Brisbane
Okay, because you live there, I guess?
because I live there,
Yes.
but also because for a number of reasons.
Okay.
We've got Pilates studios everywhere.
Okay.
So in walking distance from my house, I've got at least 5 Pilates studios.
Pilates studios, okay.
Yes, you know Pilates?
Yes, I do, yes.
Yes, good for the body.
Yes,
That's
yes.
why my body looks like this. I do a lot of Pilates, darling.
I do.
Have you tried it
I
before?
do. I have, yes. I have
Yeah.
tried Pilates, yes.
And I will tell you, I've been trying to make Bulimba a gated community recently.
Okay.
Yeah, like Sanctuary Cove. I started a petition. I've got 10 signatures so far.
10.
I think it was my Yaya and her friends, but that's okay. But like Sanctuary Cove, you
Yes,
know,
yes.
they have the gated community
Yes.
to keep the old people out.
Yes.
And we have the gated community
Yeah.
to keep the hot people in. Yes.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, I'm not sure if you're in business, but what are your thoughts around women in business?
Oh,
Katrina.
darling, I love women in business.
Do you?
I think they are amazing.
Yes.
Honestly, any woman that goes into business is a superhero.
Yes.
I actually have my own business as well.
Oh, do you?
Yes, I sell yoni eggs. I brought one here today. You know what a yoni egg is?
No.
I didn't think it would be appropriate to, usually the yoni egg doesn't come from in between here.
I'm happy to hear that.
You put this is made of rose quartz.
Okay.
It goes inside your punani.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good for cleansing the punani. It's good for the muscles around that area.
Is this a new one or one that you've used?
This is
I'm just not too sure.
this is my personal yoni egg.
Awesome. Okay.
I like to carry it on me just
Right.
in case I'm feeling stressed.
Security, did we, Kelly, we talked to security? Sorry,
It's
go on.
fine, darling.
No, it's
I can
okay.
put it away for you.
No, where are you going to put it first?
Well, I've got a little zip here, but we'll just put it back.
Yeah, I think that's the
For
safer
now.
spot. Yeah, okay.
So
good
yes,
idea.
I think if anyone would like to purchase one of my yoni eggs, I can give you. It's on Katrina Real Wog Wife yonieggs.com.
Right, that's a long
right.
website.
It is a long website,
Yes.
yes, but that's where you'll find my yoni eggs. So
Okay.
anyone in business, particularly women,
Yes.
amazing.
Okay, good to note. Okay.
Yes.
And is there anything else you'd like to share with us today? Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. You look amazing, by the way.
Thank-
So good to see you. Hello, darling. You're gorgeous. Bye-bye, darling.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right. So slight security issue there, people. But I don't know how she got in, considering there's a security door there. Maybe she followed someone in. That's okay. All right. So Well, I need to regroup for a minute. That was a used yoni egg, people. And it looked like she was about to hand it to me, which I'm a bit concerned about because it has been used. So, yes, very interesting. All right.
Only on the girlfriend hour.
Oh my gosh, that is quite funny. I need a minute, I think. I think we all need a minute, right? What a woman. I guess having the courage to crash a TV show, that's something, isn't it? Whew. All right. I might just have a sip of water and regroup.
Sounds good.
Oh my gosh. Well, Nikki, that's quite a contrast and a change for after your segment to have her turn up. I mean, she is an interesting character, I'll give her that.
In my new work, Navigating the Crone Zone, I might think about talking to her about yoni eggs or something.
Did anyone else know about yoni eggs? I certainly didn't. You did? Oh, everyone knows about them. Where have I been hiding, Kel? Where have I been hiding?
Perhaps it's about health issues and you don't have a health issue.
Maybe that's what it is. Wow. Oh, okay. Yes. Maybe I need to look up. I can't remember the website. It was quite long. Her website, wasn't it? Okay. Well, yeah. Oh, our guest. Okay. Oh, there you are. You're right. Hi, Bianca.
Sorry, I'm late.
Oh, that's all right. Nice to meet you.
Yes, so nice to meet you.
Bianca Zouppas, everyone. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Nice to meet you. Oh my gosh, we just had someone crash the party. So,
What?
yes.
Really?
We were waiting for you to walk out and
Oh, no.
someone just came in and crashed the party. So
Oh my goodness.
I'm glad that you actually came.
Well, I'm here now, so
Thank you.
that's okay.
Oh, okay, Bianca, I've got quite a few questions for you.
Yeah, for sure.
So I want to talk about tall poppy syndrome in Australia.
Yeah.
And, it's something that we have chatted on this show before, and I think it'd be really great to get your perspective as well. Why do you think it exists? Why do people feel the need to cut others down? Because, I know that you have a successful business and you're very upbeat and passionate about what you do.
Yeah.
Why do you think it exists?
I mean, the first thing that comes to mind would definitely have to be jealousy and a sense of possibly insecurity from the people that do choose to cut people down who are having success. And I believe that it's not their fault.
Yes.
Anyone that wants to make it somewhere, they have to push through barriers and stuff like that. So, and they might then, avoid their friends and stuff like that, or lose contact and whatnot. But that's got nothing to do with them. That's because they're trying to push through and make something successful of themselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And it's sad. It's sad to see. And what's something that you've learned about yourself? Because I know that you have some recent TikTok fame. I'm not a big person on TikTok. Is anyone else a TikTok person? There's so many different mediums out there. But Bianca, you have had some success on TikTok. So with this newfound fame, what is something that you've learned about yourself?
I just have learned that I love making people laugh, and I love, for me, I've always been a performer. I'm an actor and a writer, and I just love performing for people. And it's this platform where you can put up anything that you like and your audience comes to you. If they like what you do, they'll follow you, they'll send you comments. And I think it's such a great medium for artists and creators and makers. So I'm really grateful for TikTok.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, it's amazing. And I've watched some of your work and you are brilliant.
Thank you.
So now you do some very important work at schools.
Yeah.
Take us through that because it's so important. Our children are our future. And so the work that you're doing in schools really matters. But please share with everyone what you're doing.
Yeah, so I work for a company called Enlighten Education. And what I do is I usually go into all girls' schools, sometimes schools with girls and boys, but I'm always just taking the girls. And we run workshops about loving the skin that you're in. Forever Friends is a workshop where we talk to the girls, usually grade 7s to 9s, about the risks with online bullying and stuff like that. the fact that friendships change over time.
Yes, yeah, they do.
And we also do another workshop called Stop, I Don't Like It. So that's about domestic violence and those early red flags. So dropping the seed now and not some of the information goes straight over the young girls' heads, which is, that makes sense because they're still developing.
Yes.
But hopefully down the track, they'll remember what I've taught them in those workshops and be able to take that and, just have that for them in the future if anything were to happen.
And it's something that I'm sure when you're saying it, even though they may not understand it in that moment, it's planting a seed, isn't it? And they're going to store it there for when they need it. Stop, I don't like that, was it?
Yeah, Stop, I don't like it.
Stop, I don't like it. That is brilliant. I love that. It's going in there somewhere. Why is this work so important for you, Bianca?
I think, obviously growing up as a young woman, and I feel like I had the support around me as a young person growing up in the arts. I had people that I could go to when I needed that support. And now that I'm an educator myself, I see those students that don't have that. So I want to be that person for them, knowing that I had that growing up. It's really important. Yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic. Let's give it up for Bianca Zouppas, everyone. Amazing. You are fantastic. Ladies, let's have a D&M.
Right.
Follow me. Very good old-fashioned, deep and meaningful. Today I'd love to talk about making new friends in our middle years. For many women, particularly working women, deep loneliness can plague them. After kids and on top of work, our relationships with our partners and friends change. Sometimes we move to new cities and have to start all over again. It can be really hard to strike up new friends and find the energy to put yourself out there. Bianca, what are your thoughts around this? How do we find those new friends when, it's easier when we're young with children and we've got little kids, you walk in and you meet all the other mums. What happens at this age?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's really challenging and as we grow up, we have extracurricular activities that are more accepted and you're kind of pushed to do. But for me, I feel like once you leave school, once you leave university, that community kind of dies unless you go into a workplace where you have that 9 to 5 and you might meet some friends there. But particularly for me as an artist who doesn't have a regular 9 to 5 job, I really miss that sense of community. So I think it is about seeking out those extracurricular activities for adults, whether it's, an art class or joining a sporting team or something like that. And I personally, I started my business, which is based around community and creation, so that women could connect again and find some of those genuine connections that we lose at this age.
And maybe at Pilates we could find them as well.
Yeah, maybe.
Nikki, what about you?
Women do so many years in service to their families, young children. That's where you make friends because you've common experience.
Correct.
And then their career, workplace friends. But often later, as the children leave the nest and more time on your hands, there's a sense of, where is everybody?
Yeah, that's
and
it.
I find that the work I do now in the Crone Zone is really about women finding their centre again, their sovereign self, and that enables them to make connections again. Because when you are in a common experience, it's easy to make connections, but it's hard to walk up to somebody and say, hello, I'm really interested in getting to know you.
Yes.
I mean, we just can't do that.
No.
And so it's about, I'm taking up clogging soon.
Oh,
Clogging?
Yes.
Oh.
Because I want to join a dance community.
Yes.
And
Well
so
done.
it's about looking for those communities that light you up as well and staying in contact with long-time friends. And that's hard in our world as well.
Yes.
It is, and I guess, staying in contact with long-term friends and the time, like we all are very time poor. The other thing that we've noticed in the last few years with the pandemic is that everyone worked remotely. So they're then disconnected from their offices and their colleagues and then sometimes their friends, of course. So what's been a way that you've navigated this, Bianca?
Oh, to reconnect with friends.
Reconnect with friends and just when we couldn't connect, but even in our busyness of our life, how do we make time?
And I've always believed that it's quality over quantity.
Yes.
But it is sending that message if you're not, if you're feeling lost and lonely. And kind of putting your heart on the line as well, being vulnerable and saying, hey, I'm feeling really lonely. I feel like I need to connect with someone.
Yes.
And usually then in people's busyness and whatnot, they will then take the time to go, okay, my friend is struggling and reach out, because we can get lost in the, I'm so busy, I've got this, this and this. So sometimes you do have to kind of put your heart on the line and say, I'm struggling, I need that help.
Yes.
That
But being vulnerable is part of women's gifts. So we don't mind sharing with our good friends that we're feeling a bit tricky at the moment, a bit down, a bit sad. And I mean, thank God for Zoom, really. I mean, there's nothing like a hug.
FaceTime, Zoom.
Touch is the most important thing. And I think that's the bit we missed out on in COVID, because, you know, we women are touchy-feely. We always give each other a hug or a pat or whatever. So thank God for Zoom, because we managed to stay connected.
Yes, definitely.
But it was a bit hairy.
Absolutely, and the whole elbow tap just didn't cut it for me. Hug people. That ain't going to do it.
Not at all.
No. And Bianca, have you won the friendship lottery?
I have.
Yeah.
Just in the past 4 years, there's one particular friend who I didn't grow up with. We met in an acting class, and we just got along so well. And I feel like I'm the type of person that gives out a lot as a friend. I'm always the one organising things. But I finally met this person that wanted to give me as much as I felt I gave out. And I'm always on the phone to her. So I feel like she's not going anywhere. Well, she's not going anywhere. I'm locking her down.
She's off the market, people.
Exactly.
Bianca's taken her. Stamp.
Yeah, exactly.
And what about Nikki?
I won that lottery when I was 5.
Oh, when you were 5.
I
Okay, you need to tell us.
Sitting next to a little girl in grade 1. And many decades later, we are still besties.
Love that.
And my friend in the audience is decades and decades and decades, and that was acting class, acting group. We became friends. Yeah, but it's also about letting women's intuition enough sit around your heart. So when you meet somebody and you feel that connection, you act on it.
Yes.
You say, I want to see you again.
Yes.
Let's exchange numbers, because often in life we don't take the time to do that.
True. That's true. Yeah. And so if you're watching this at home and you might be feeling a bit lonely or disconnected, what's some advice, Bianca, you could give to them so that they can feel what we are all feeling?
I would always say that you sometimes have to go to you first. So whether that be journaling, and I know some of these things sound silly or whatnot, but I believe that sometimes you have to connect to what it is that exactly you need first. So journaling or meditation. And then once you know what it is that you're looking for, then you can go and seek that out from other people, because they have then a better understanding of what it is that they can give you in return.
That's so true.
Yeah.
And we do need to become friends with ourselves, don't you agree, before we can befriend anyone else. So you've got to love yourself. So thank you. And what about you, Nikki?
I would say look at your own self-care, because
it's a big one.
Our service comes first for a lot of women, and we serve our families, our children, our everything, and we forget to nourish ourselves. And part of that nourishment has to be connection with our women friends, because they know how to nourish us. So I always think you need to interrogate a bit of your life. So a bit of meditation, quietly look back at your life or look at the past few years in your life, and bubbling up, you'll find, that was a great time with that person. That was a great, and then act. Ring them up, chase them, stalk them on Facebook.
Stalk away.
Yes. And reconnect, because there's nothing like reconnecting with parts of your life journey and reconnecting with the person that was important then, for opening up a part of your heart that you might have forgotten a bit about.
Absolutely. And girlfriend love and friendships in general are so, so important. And I talk about them a lot. It is the girlfriend hour. But whether it's with a boyfriend or a child friend, or it doesn't matter, a parent friend, they are so important. They're soul food. You need people around you, because we can't just do life by ourselves. It's too lonely. So please help me thank both of these ladies for being on the Girlfriend Hour today. You've been absolutely amazing.
Oh, wonderful.
Thank you so much, Nikki. Thank you, Bianca. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, wow. What a great D&M. I love that. I'm going to get my trusty producer, Kelly, to come on up here. Leave your headset on, hun. We know who you are. Give her a round of applause.
Testing.
We are going to have some fun. It's the last show of the season.
Woo-hoo.
How lucky
Let's
are you
get
feeling
wild.
sitting in the audience? Yeah, right?
Well, there's a lady in red out. She's got red lipstick, red dress.
Oh,
She's
red
been
and red.
looking at me all day and
Come on
down.
Woo! We
Each
have
time
some-
she's pretty amazing down And you do have the
Look at
Hello.
you.
Hello, how are you?
If I could sing, I'd
Come
sing
on
Lady
in.
in Red, but I can't. So I'll just leave that to the imagination.
I missed the shoes before. You look fabulous.
Oh, thank you.
So you listened to Shar's instructions and said, come and be fabulous and colourful.
I
Yes.
did. And I knew a few of the guests, so
Ah.
it was fantastic.
Brilliant. What's your name?
My name is Therese. I'm from
Therese.
Sydney.
Ah, nice to meet you, Therese. Well, on our beautiful Flower Garden prize wheel today, sponsored by Be Style for Life, we have some fabulous gifts up today. I'm going to tell you what you could potentially win. Are you ready?
Go for it.
Our grand prize is amazing and has some incredible gifts all by itself. But if you do win the grand prize, you actually win everything on the wheel. We have a Be Styled for Lifestyle session and gorgeous leather wallet, Storm in a D-Cup prize pack, Women in Bloom skincare set, a pair of these cool kick shoes, gorgeous Lisa Pollock picnic basket and serving platter, and a beautiful gift from Fashion Flaunt. What's feeling right for you?
Oh, it has to be number 3.
Number 3. Oh, the number 3. Okay, we're going to give us some number 3 vibes.
Come
You're
on,
not going to
number
say
3.
grand prize?
Oh, that would be even better.
Forget number 3. Who's number 3? Grand prize. All right, give it a big spin. There we go. Give us some vibes.
Come on, number
That's
3.
a
Come on,
great
number 3.
spin.
Come on, grand prize. Come on, grand prize.
It went backwards.
It's the grand prize! Yes!
The wheel's got an energy all of its own. You have won the grand prize. Congratulations. Here is our assistant producer, Kylie, who likes to be backstage, but she's now front stage. You have won one of everything. Congratulations. We have some great gifts in our grand prize as well with Embrace Crystals, House of Vim, Menopause Tea. Wouldn't mind some of that. Desiderate Jewellery, Aston RX Vitamins, Elite Parties Online, magazines and books from Feminescence, Joseph Ribkoff Umbrella and Scarf, a session with the Optimisation Queen and a pain relief kinesiology session. Congratulations, Therese. Thank you for playing.
luggage on the way back.
Yes. You will need excess luggage now.
Excess luggage for her.
Take
travelled
it
up
away,
from
lady.
Sydney. And we'll be back right after this.
Are you loving the Girlfriend Hour so far? We hope you've been inspired by the wonderful women you've seen sharing their stories. Do you have an inspiring story of your own to share? We're looking for magic just like yours. Be featured in Feminescence magazine and start your own exciting media journey. Join many other fabulous women who've been profiled in Feminescence magazine. Unlock access to an international audience, propel your career and expand your network. Make today the day you back yourself. What are you waiting for? Visit feminescence.com.au to find out more.
Please join me in welcoming our next amazing guest, Shelly Horton. Shelly needs no introduction, but I'm going to give you one anyway. She is an accomplished TV presenter, producer, and founder of Shell Shocked Media Production Company. She is a media guru and a passionate advocate of better education on perimenopause and women's mental health. Please put your hands together for the amazing Shelly Horton. Hi, Shar. How are you? Look at you, girlfriend. Don't you look divine? Colour? I got colour. Woo! I love it. Wow, what a gorgeous, colourful dress. That is stunning. Well, Shelly, let's get straight into it.
Yeah.
Let's talk peri and your experience.
Okay, so look, This is the girlfriend hour,
It
so I
is.
feel like I can be relaxed and tell you guys the truth. Perimenopause hit me when I was 46, and I had never even heard the word before. Not once.
Wow.
So I didn't know what it was. And unfortunately for me, I'm 49 now, but it hit me in 2020 with the pandemic.
Oh.
So of course, all of the symptoms I just said were COVID related. I'm like, I'm feeling really anxious. That'll be COVID. I'm feeling like I can't sleep. COVID. Feeling depressed. COVID. I'm getting hot flushes. I've put on COVID kilos. You know, like I could pretty much put it all down
To COVID.
And I think for me, it wasn't until now. I'm going to get a little bit graphic here.
Yeah, go for it. It's a girlfriend hour.
It's a girlfriend hour.
Oh, totally.
So I have a Marina, which is an
Yes.
IUD. I want to marry it. Like it's been the best thing in my life. So I had Armageddon-style periods my entire life. Had the Marina, and then I hadn't had a period for 13 years.
Wow.
Oh, they last 5 years. So I'd had a few.
Yes.
However, end of 2020, I didn't just get a period. I got a period that lasted 62 days. Yeah, right? Not fun.
No.
So that's when I went to the doctor. Like it took all of those symptoms, but it wasn't until I was bleeding like that I actually went to the doctor. Now, of course, because there was so much bleeding, they had to check me out for any of the nasties like cervical cancer, which we have to get checked out for anyway. But that's when the doctor said, I think you're perimenopausal. And I was like, perimeno what?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm far too fabulous for that. That's for old ladies. And that's when I found out that actually around early 40s, 45 is when peri hits. And then it can last up to 10 years. Then you have menopause, then you go on to postmenopause. And I was just like, why haven't I been told about this?
Absolutely.
So it really hit me for 6. And I think the worst thing for me was the depression, because I am very lucky that I've never had any mental health issues before. I mean, well, my first divorce, that was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But when you've got a reason for feeling sad, then that's
Yes.
okay. Also, because he was a jerk. But anyway.
We won't tell anyone.
Yeah, send him a copy of this. But I actually, it was one of those things where I saw a GP. The GP wasn't that great with it. And one of my best friends is Dr. Ginny Mansberg. Now, Dr. Jim, I'm on Channel 9 and Dr. Ginny's on Channel 7. We met when I was at Channel 7. But I have always said, look, you can't be my GP because I don't want you looking down there when we drink wine together, all right? And then finally...
Boundaries, girlfriend.
Boundaries. No. And then finally my husband, bless him, I do have a new husband and he's
Not a jerk.
1,000 times.
Not a jerk.
Not a jerk. Not a jerk at all. 1,000 times better. He just said, hey, I think it's time for you to speak to Ginny. And so he came with me to the doctor's appointment. And Ginny was like, actually, you've got quite severe depression and we're going to have to put you on an HRT and an antidepressant. Now, I never judge anyone when it comes to their mental health. I judged myself, though. I was a mess. And then I ended up, because I had to come back for a couple of appointments, I had to get blood tests and all sorts of things done. And I came back for the actual script of the antidepressants and drove home with them sitting in the front seat of the car and cried the whole way home. And then the first lot of antidepressants didn't really work, so I kind of expected a quick fix. Doesn't work that way.
No.
So then I had to wean off those, then go on to another sort, and then they worked. And then I'm like, oh, my God, I'm back. This is amazing. And I'm like, you got to tell everyone.
Shelly
like,
2.0 is in the house.
Yeah, right? And so all of this, it took nearly 9 months for me to get back to what I used to be. And I think that that's something that I really want to help other women with, because I shouldn't have had to have waited 9 months.
No.
That's a long time.
For the new Shelley to be born, literally 9 months, that's a long time. Why do you think that there's not enough information about this, that people are not talking about it enough?
Yeah.
What's going on?
We need more shows like this.
Yes.
We need
No, we just need this one to be everywhere.
Just this one, everywhere. I find that it's been a bit of a generational thing. So my mother doesn't discuss it with me. So when I finally, because actually I was writing a story for Nine Honey, and I was writing about my mental health and saying that I feel this stigma and I can't believe how ashamed I feel. And I said in the story, I feel so ashamed I haven't even told my mum and dad.
Oh.
And then my editor rang me and went, I'm not printing that until you tell them. Like, that's, I'm like, oh, yeah, probably should. Anyway, I was still at the very teary stage. So, you know, the drugs hadn't kicked in. And I just knew I couldn't talk to mum about it without crying. So I sent her this long emotional text. And it was very much like, just so you know, Darren, that's my husband, has been really supportive. Dr. Jenny's looking after me. I'm seeing a counsellor. I'm on antidepressants. I'm doing HRT, but I have quite severe perimenopausal depression.
Gee.
And like poured it out. And her response, chin up. That was it. Chin up. Because her generation, you don't talk about that sort of thing.
Yeah, right.
You just soldier on.
Interesting.
So I kind of felt let down by the sisterhood. I felt that I have a lot of girlfriends who are younger than me, like 10 years younger than me, because I've moved around a lot with journalism. I certainly haven't had my school friends that I've stuck with.
Yeah.
And I think if I had my school friends, we'd be going through the same thing at the same time.
Same age.
But I felt like this was a bit of a secret women's business that just shouldn't be secret anymore.
Well, it won't be anymore because now it's on the Girlfriend Hour and it's going around the world, people. So what about women's mental health? Where is the system actually letting middle-aged women down?
So this is actually huge and it's actually quite shocking. So women aged between 45 and 54, which is, you know, your perimenopausal years, is the highest rate of suicide in women.
Oh.
Now, you would think maybe postnatal depression or teenage girls. This is like 3 times worse.
Wow.
So it's 1 in 3 women with perimenopause get either anxiety or depression, which can lead to those horrible thoughts. So what I have realised is we're not being taught about this in school. We are basically just trying to find out our own information. So that's when I decided to create a course with Dr. Jenny Mansberg called Don't Sweat It. And it's actually bringing the education into workplaces.
Okay.
Because the other thing is this mental health issues isn't something that just happens at home.
Yes.
You're at work.
Correct.
So what we've done is we've created a course that basically addresses it because I felt like I needed to be supported. When I was depressed and crying, I didn't want to go to work and I love my work. So when a workaholic doesn't want to go to work, you know something's wrong. So we started doing study because as you know, incredible shows like this don't happen without a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
This course has taken us a year to put together. We've done a lot of research. And the research we got out of the UK showed that women aged between 45 and 54 is the highest growing sector in the workplace. Yet 10% of that group quit their jobs because of their perimenopausal symptoms.
Oh.
So they quit because what we're finding is it's that sandwich generation where you might have kids to look after, parents to look after, and you're sort of stuck in the middle. So what's the one thing that you can change? You can stop work. So 10% of women are quitting. Then the next stat was 14% opted to go part-time and 8% actually actively didn't go for a promotion or asked for a demotion.
Oh.
So this is a workplace issue.
Absolutely.
So that's why Don't Sweat It has really worked on the mental health. And just, you know, to be fair, we're not talking about any of the dry Sahara down there. That's a whole different story. But
that's another show.
Another show. I'll come back for that one. Yeah. I call mine the sandbox. But anyway. But this is just for workplaces. So we talk about the hot flushes, brain fog, and then the anxiety and depression, because we're finding the anxiety and depression really affects women's confidence as well. So this course gets everyone on the same page.
Yes.
The men, the women, the young, the old, everyone on the same page, because you can't operate in a vacuum.
Yes.
You can't basically thrive when you don't know what's going on with your body. And it will help everyone be a little bit more understanding. And we've had...
I love that.
And we've only just launched. So it is... I've never had children, but this feels like my baby.
Yes.
We are very much at the beginning of it, but we've had interest from big companies like Qantas and New South Wales Health and Medibank. So big companies interested. And a couple of the people who've done the course have just been like, thank you. We needed to spread the word about this. And I had one guy who was like the head of a law firm contacted me and just said, thank you. One, I had no idea my staff was going through this.
You wouldn't.
And two, my wife's in the middle of it. And I think you just saved our marriage.
Oh, love that.
So,
and Shelley, what does a menopause-friendly workplace actually look like?
So the first thing is education, because the fact that we have such it's sporadic information throughout, but it's also things like being in control of the aircon or having a desk fan. Like, it sounds so silly. But if I'm having a hot flush, if I've got a desk fan there, I feel better.
Yes.
If you are a workplace that has a uniform, making sure that you don't require women to wear stockings or hosiery.
Yes.
Like, that seems ridiculous in the year 2022.
Absolutely.
But flight attendants have to wear stockings. We've got a lot of law firms require their staff to wear stockings. A lot of high-end restaurants require their staff to wear stockings. If you start thinking about it, it's actually a uniform requirement for a lot of people.
That's so hot. I'm just making me sweat thinking about it.
Seriously, you have a hot flush and when you've got stockings on, you might combust.
Absolutely.
That's one of those things.
Absolutely.
But then there's also bigger picture things where it is making it that you can talk to each other.
Yes.
Making it not have stigma or shame associated with it, acknowledging that not only is this a really tough period to get through, but it's not fatal. We are going to get through it. And then look out.
Yes.
Because seriously,
absolutely,
that is going to be my time. And I think it might be Shelly .50.
Yeah, that's all right. I think I'm up to 50.0 as well.
Yeah. So, because that is when women really step into those leadership roles.
Yes, correct.
Mentors.
Correct.
They, they only have so many to give, and they just don't give them anymore at that age. So, I think it's about women being helped through the difficult bits of peri and menopause. And here's one thing.
Yes.
Okay,
it's the one thing.
I do get a bee in my bonnet about this. So how long do you think menopause lasts?
Oh, I want to say 8 to 10 years.
Okay, 1 day. See, this is the thing. Perimenopause can last 5 to 10 years. Menopause is 1 day. It is the 1 day that you have been 12 months without a period, and then every day after that you're postmenopausal. So we're not even using the right terminology. So isn't that interesting? I was so shocked when I found that out. And I just think if we're not using the right terminology, how can we be moving forward?
Everyone that I know says, I've been in menopause for years. They're actually saying
it's postmenopause. I know, right? There's just needs to be more information.
Absolutely.
And this is the thing, perfect with the girlfriend hour, but women learn through talking.
Yes.
So therefore we need to have workplaces that are open, that you can discuss this.
Yes.
And the way I'm thinking about it is 10 years ago, Are You OK Day didn't exist.
Yes.
And mental health in the workplace was incredibly taboo.
So do we need a menopause or perimenopause day?
It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
But I just think it needs to be where everyone needs to be educated about it so that the stigma disappears.
How do we change the narrative though?
I want it to start being spoken about at school. Yes. We talk about periods, we talk about getting pregnant, and then it kind of stops.
Yes.
And I think that's where you have that idea that it's just for, old ladies clutching their pearls.
Correct.
And I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I am very grey, but
no pearls, no.
Yeah, no pearls. So I think we need to start educating earlier, and then we need to have continued education as we progress through our careers. And also, I look forward to the time when it's actually not a huge need for education because the stigma's not there, and we've just been talking about it.
And you can walk up to a random person and see them sweating and go, are you peri? Like actually have that conversation in public. Imagine how great that would be that we didn't have to, quietly go, let me just talk about it. Yeah. And do you also feel, Shelley, that we need to have the conversation with our partners, husbands, or there's education for men? Because even teenage boys not understanding it as well, but our husbands, our partners, I've been married over 30 years and he needs to be clued up on when I snap at him, there's a reason and what he can do about it apart from run to China or, move to Mexico. Like, it's okay.
Yeah, definitely.
So how do we help?
The studies haven't been done, But I can tell you, hand on heart, that going through that perimenopausal transition would be a huge factor in many, many marriage breakups.
Marriage breakdowns.
Now, the thing is, I'm lucky. My husband has been completely on board to the point where he's just like, he thinks he could sit a test on it. Like, he is very good. But also because he's a cameraman and editor, so he actually edited the entire course. So he's heard a lot about it. But I also think that, letting men know and just with saying to men, remember when you were about 15 and your hormones were going crazy and you couldn't control what was going on? That's us for 10 years.
Yes.
So
we do love you, but please bear with us.
Yeah, and also just know this too shall pass, so it's not permanent, and that we need support and we need help.
And if you do run off with a younger woman, guess what? You're going to go through it twice.
That's
you may as well stick with me.
Love that.
Oh my gosh, there's so many things I would love to chat with you about, honestly. But please give it up for Shelly Horton. Honestly, I could have you here all day. You've been amazing. We have a really fun section now called Time Out. So many people have been wanting to escape and travel over the last few years. So I'm going to ask you a fast few fun questions around travel. Okay. What is your favourite dish from anywhere in the world?
Oh, I'm going to say it was when I went to Egypt when I was 24 and thought I was bulletproof. Now I'm like, oh my God, what would I do? But I did it was called a camel dive safari. And they loaded the camels up with your scuba equipment, went out to a reef that you could not access by any other vehicle. And then we went scuba diving. And while we were scuba diving, the Bedouins made this incredible chicken dish with rice and beautiful hummus and things like that. And so we came back up and just ate with our hands. It was probably one of the most simple meals I've had, but there was just something, it was made with love.
Oh, sounds divine. Now I'm getting hungry. Where's the furthest you've ever travelled by yourself?
I'm a big traveller. So I've been to 52 countries. Yeah, I'm a big traveller. By myself. Well, Egypt would probably be there. I went to Cuba by myself.
Oh,
yeah.
How was that?
To celebrate my first divorce. So here's the thing. At university, I did Spanish for about 6 months.
Okay.
So 15 years later, when I went to Cuba, I was like, I'll be fine, And I got there, and let's just say, days of the week and colours, not that helpful. So I had to do a lot of sign language, but I had a lot of fun. And I did a bus tour and I thought, I'll just make friends with people on the bus.
Yeah, totally.
The bus was full of Spanish-speaking people and 2 Aussies, and I was 33. I turned 33 in Cuba, and the other 2 women were 2 Aussies who were researchers from the University of Sydney, and they were in their late 50s, and I loved them, and I had so much fun with them. So, yeah, that was a big adventure.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And if I was to go through your playlist, what's some songs I'd find on there?
Playlist. So here, oh, God, this is a bit of a confession.
Yeah.
I'm not very good with music.
Okay.
So my husband was a sound engineer and travelled the world with bands.
Oh, wow.
He's kind of off music as well because it feels like work for him. At the moment in my car, it's a very eclectic. So you're trying to talk travel playlist?
Playlist or anything. I mean, you travelled down here, so.
Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton.
Miley Cyrus, related.
Yes.
That's amazing. I'm obsessing over Elton John. So, stuff that's not
quite eclectic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. Shows me it actually explains her personality, doesn't it? It makes total sense, girlfriend. What's the best Instagram photo you've ever taken on vacation?
In the Bahamas.
Yes.
With my husband, and we went to an island that had wild pigs that could swim. Yeah, I'm going to have to get you the photo to show you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was told pigs can't fly, but they can't swim as well.
So there
goes all my belief systems.
The locals had this island and they were keeping the pigs there to raise them because they didn't need fencing or anything. But the fishermen would go past and they'd throw scraps out. So the pigs learned to swim to come out and get the scraps. And so it's very Instagrammable because when else are you going to have pigs in the
that
sea?
swim.
I know.
Absolutely.
But I was actually quite terrified because they weren't small. They weren't piglets. They were like
Big,
400
lanky
kilo
pigs.
with like massive teeth. And then the other
I need the
thing-
photo.
Yeah, I'll get you the photo because the other thing is they fed them sausages, which is kind of feeding them themselves.
Oh.
Is that a bit wrong?
That is so
Yeah,
wrong.
that's a bit wrong. Oh,
So wrong. I wonder if the pig knew. Hello, Barney.
Yeah.
Haven't seen you for a while.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. What do you pack in your suitcase no matter where you are going?
At the moment, a fan.
A fan.
Yeah.
I
I've
get
actually
it.
got a great little disposable
Hey, these
one
cards
that's
aren't
like-
just for notes, let me tell you.
Yeah. So I've got a fan. And then I would say always sunglasses.
Yes. Yes. And if you could swim with dolphins or sharks, which one would you?
Sharks, done it.
Done it.
Done it in Bahamas as well.
Scary?
Yeah, I squealed like a little girl. Like I had the snorkel on. I haven't ever been with like the big scary sharks. These were like what are they, like reef sharks?
Yes, okay.
And I
They
got
can
to
just eat
touch
your
them.
feet, but not your whole
Yeah.
body. Yeah, okay.
I could touch them, and I've swum with dolphins, and they feel like a peeled boiled egg would be the way I describe it. Like it's so
Smooth,
soft and
soft.
beautiful. Sharks feel like sandpaper.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Ew.
but I kind of loved it.
Oh, okay.
I'd probably like to do a cage dive. Yeah. Oh.
All right, we need to
Audience
get you
says
back
no.
on. We need to get you back on after if you make it.
If I make it, yeah.
Best hotel you've ever stayed in ever?
Oh, okay. So I was so lucky. I got to go to Hooker Lodge in New Zealand as a secret reviewer for a company called Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So the hotel was not allowed to know that I was reviewing. So it had to be a true review.
Yes.
But I didn't have to pay for it. So that was exciting there. And I took my best gay Dave because I was between husbands. And he and we found out it's where like George Clooney goes there and the Queen had been there. Barbara Streisand had been there.
Wow.
Like it is next level. And we arrived and it was honestly like every hedge had been photoshopped into perfection. We had the most incredible room and incredible food. And then I had hurt my neck, travel neck. And I was like, oh, my neck's playing up a bit. And so they were like, that's okay, Ms. Horton. We actually have a physio. He actually treats the All Blacks. We'll come in, and he manipulated my neck. And then I got back to my room and there was a little bottle of Tiger Balm sitting there. Thank you very much.
Now, who thinks we need to film the girlfriend out there? Yes.
Definitely.
My gosh. And final question. Are you one of these people that braid the hair when you're in the country where it's cool to do?
No. Yeah. No.
That's it. No. Just no.
Mainly because, as I said, I'm very grey. It would just be grey roots and cornrows. It wouldn't look cool. It would be terrible.
Let's give it up for the amazing Shelly Horton. Thank you so much for being on the show. What an amazing woman. Well, oh my gosh. This is our final segment of episode 6 on season 2, and it's called The Torch. And today I'd actually like to share a very personal story with you. It's actually my story. So in August 2021, as I turned 50, I was diagnosed with a disease called lipedema. Not many people know this disease, and lipedema affects 11 out of 100 women, which is quite a large number and a percentage, and it goes undiagnosed. I suffered with this disease for 30 years of my life, and I didn't know that I had it. So I was one of those people that would go to the beach in summer wearing long leggings and pants and covering up my large legs and these chunks of what I thought were cellulite. I was that woman that would go to all the dance classes with my girlfriends and do the Zumba and walk the 10 kilometres with them early morning eat everything right. I was not a junk food person. And I would watch my girlfriends drop weight like that and tone up and look fabulous. And I would turn up back in the Lycra gym gear with these big chunks that sat off my legs. And I didn't know why. I had personal trainers that would work with me and say to me, Shar, just try harder. You're not trying hard enough. And I would get soul destroyed every time I walked into a change room and tried on a pair of pants, because I would turn and do the whole look in the mirror at the butt and the legs, and there it was. And I didn't know what to do, and I thought, it's just me. I'm Indian. I've been cursed. It's just my body. There's nothing I can do about it. Try going out in the heat when you live in the Middle East and Thailand, wearing jeans and long pants because you need to cover up. I suffered with self-image, yet I pursued, I persisted. I became a personal stylist. I travelled the world with my family. I would dress up and find a way to hide my body because I was so ashamed. It was something that I didn't know I had, and I didn't know what to do about it. And in August 2021, a month after I turned 50, I was at Pilates one day and I was doing one of the exercises. And the next morning when I woke up, I was in the shower and I looked down and I had these big pockets of fluid that had developed under my knees. And I thought, oh my God, something is seriously wrong. So I rushed to hospital, as you do. I went to the emergency room and I was there for quite a while they tried to diagnose me and tell me what had happened. Everyone did all the tests. They said, it's your heart, it's your kidney, it's your liver. Have you suffered stress recently? Yes, we've been through a number of years of stress, I said. They did all the tests and guess what? They came back negative. Nothing wrong physically in that sense. They said, go and have an ultrasound. And as I was at the ultrasound, they checked everything and they said, there's nothing wrong that we can see with your heart, your liver, your kidney or anything. The lady said to me as she was putting away her scope, she said, I'd suggest you go have a lymphatic massage. I think there's something wrong with your lymph nodes. I said, okay. So I did. At that point, you're helpless. You just do whatever people say. And I'm so lucky that I did, because as I sat on the couch and laid down, bearing my large legs onto the couch with this lady, and she looked at me and I wasn't there 1 minute. And she said, Shar, has anyone ever diagnosed you with lipedema? Now, when you hear the words diagnose and then a term you've never heard of before, your heart sinks. And all of a sudden you start to think, what's wrong with me? Am I going to lose this life I've built and all these dreams I have to launch a TV show and travel the world? Because I didn't know what that meant. And she got on the phone straight away and rang a surgeon that she works with. And I was booked in pretty much immediately. In the last 12 months, I've had 2 major surgeries on my legs, and I wouldn't wish the pain and recovery on my worstest enemy. Yet I was so lucky and grateful because I'd hit stage 3 of this disease. Had it have gone to stage 4, it would no longer be operable. But here's what I was thinking as I was walking in for the second surgery, knowing how painful and difficult surgery 1 was. And here I was about to willingly walk in and do it all again, but worse, because it was all the backs. I started to think, what impact have I actually created in this world? What difference have I actually made? Yes, I've grown businesses and travelled the world with my family and created a beautiful life. But what impact, what footprint in the sand am I actually leaving behind? If I don't make it out of this surgery, will anyone remember me? And as I lay down on the bed, sunny side up, naked, for them to perform this surgery, as I started to close my eyes, I promised myself this one thing. If I make it through this and thrive, I'm going to start that TV show, The Girlfriend Hour, that I've been promising to do for 10 years. Whether I have funding or not, I'm doing it. I will sell anything to get that show up and running. And here's the other promise I made to myself. I'm going to find 1,000 women by the year 2025 around the world, women and men, that want to create impact. And I'm going to gather them all together at Times Square in May 2024. And we're going to launch a book called Impact, with every one of those people standing there with me, beside me, in front of me, behind me, who are here to make a difference in the world. And that's exactly what we are going to do, because I did make it through. And I am so lucky that I have the resources and the time and the team and the family and the support that got me through those very difficult times. So if you are watching this and you have struggled with something, or you've gone through a difficult time, please get up one more time and do something to create impact, because it doesn't matter how long you live, you're still here just for a minute. Whether today is my last day, tomorrow, or 40 years from now, it's still going to go so quick. And when you can look back at your life, if you were to share your tombstone testimony, the last few paragraphs that are written on your tombstone, what would they be for you? What is that final thing and gift, that footprint that you want to leave for the rest of humanity? Make sure that you live your life to the fullest every day. Create impact. Bring joy to others. Find your tribe. Our movement at Feminescence is all about gathering these soulful women. Many of you've heard of them on our show. Everyday celebrities. Everyday men in business, women in business, human beings in business. We are all equal. However you define yourself, I welcome you to please ask yourself the question, what impact are you creating in your life? Thank you very much. The Torch segment was proudly sponsored by the Lone Suite. We are so grateful for their support. Heartfelt thanks to you all for supporting another season of our show. Our mission is to instill hope, rekindle love, and spark passion in all those who are ready to create impact in their lives. Thank you to Liz Clift International for dressing me, Kix for giving me these spunky shoes to wear, Feminescence Magazine, Be Styled for Life, and each and every one of you for loving our show. I hope today's episode and this season has been worthy of your time. Okay, girlfriends, until next season on The Girlfriend Hour. Woo!